I don't know how to talk about Furiosa because it disappointed me and I don't really understand why. So this video is not going to be a straight up review as if I know better than the next man about whether or not this movie is to your liking. This video is simply me dictating my thoughts and opinions that are coming from a very personal, biased place, okay? Let's get into it. Mad Max Fury Road is on my short list of the best pure action films of the decade, if not all time. It sits among the true GOATs, The Raid, John Wick series, Dread, Suck My Dick, Rebel Moon series. Fury Road was this one in a million movie that was a fucking nightmare to make. Yet, despite its eternal production schedule and holdups, it pulls off non-stop action filmmaking for 2 hours with so much ease that it feels otherworldly. I am not a huge Mad Max stan by any means, but I am a Fury Road stan. I think it's a perfect film, as perfect as you can get. Perfect intention followed by perfect execution of that intention. But this isn't a review of Fury Road. It's a review of someone who lives with someone who... No, it's a review of Furiosa. Okay, before I go too far, I'm going to just make a few statements up top so that I can hopefully avoid any parasocial miscommunication about what I may or may not know about Furiosa and its existence, okay? Here's what I know. I know Furiosa was written before Fury Road, or at least grouped together with it, in a third film/project titled Wasteland. I know that George Miller is a diverse filmmaker, from Lorenzo's Oil to Babe to Happy Feet, and I know the Mad Max universe has always been his true opus, his real pride and joy, though a Babe 3 would really help us all out, I think, in these times. I know people are completely deluded thinking this movie is, like, bad because it has a girl lead instead of Max, like nerdtrotic and all these other fucking R words, talking shit about this movie and about Mad Max and how it's corrupting Mad Max, despite knowing the character of Max is a wanderer, this observer of this world, and nothing about the original movies makes me fully expect the character of Max to be developed any more than he already is and needs to be, and that Furiosa was also unquestionably the most interesting character in Fury Road, and if anybody was going to get a spin-off story from that movie, it should be her. And girl boss allegations aside, it is very sad to know that this movie is bombing, and that this weekend was not the lasagna Taylor-Joy to last year's Barbenheimer that people were hoping. So despite the title and the thumbnail and whatever else preconceived you may have about my opinion, I want to defend Furiosa here, and I can and I will because it's really good. I like a lot in this movie. People are saying it's advertised well enough, but here's my experience. I saw the trailer in the theater, and I was excited at the first reaction to the new Fury Road movie. I remember thinking, this looks like it was directed by someone else, though. Not even really in a bad way, but it just lacked the tactile and practical fury of Fury Road. By the way, I'm talking about like the first 10 to 20 seconds of the trailer, you know? Then I see George Miller is directing, and one eyebrow just kind of went up like, okay? Listen, I see a 4.1 on Letterboxd. I see people I trust saying it's incredible and visually dazzling, and it's been a couple years since I've had such a disconnect with my trustworthy critics that I usually agree with, but I'm not a liar, and I want to talk about this fucking movie. And just for anyone who might be new, I really don't like the rigid structure of a lot of film reviews, especially when the bias and fanfare is just so glaring. I just like to talk about the movies and how they made me feel, and that's it. I don't really want to argue. And honestly, I haven't even had to do that with anyone yet, but if you do disagree, just know I for real want to hear your take. I want you to add things that could really enlighten not just me, but everyone else. It's NerdFap, it's what we do. We all got takes here. Anyway, and the reason this video has taken me so long to make is because I've just been thinking about this movie so much, and my takes on it and opinions on it keep shifting and evolving, that I just want to... I know I'm being messy here, but bear with me because I think I came to a conclusion on just what I think about it. What do you do when a visionary's vision is to have a bunch of different visions throughout their career that are way different, and some might just not land for some people? It's just the odds are very likely one of them might not land. There are so-called fans of Mad Max pissed at random stuff in Fury Road, and especially Furiosa, but the more I think about this movie in the context of its mastermind, George Miller, the more I have to admit that these aren't mistakes that we're all seeing. They're clear, defined choices. And George Miller made a way bigger choice than at least I was anticipating. And it really threw me into a spiral. I've been kind of hating on this movie with people just privately who I trust, who I saw it with, and were equally underwhelmed by it. In the coming days, sat with it and I processed it, and I started shifting my comparison not directly to Fury Road, but to George Miller's filmography as a whole. I'm not going to name all of them, and I'm probably missing a few, but off the top of my head, let me throw a couple out. There's Mad Max, Happy Feet, Lorenzo's Oil, Happy Feet 2, Babe 2, Pig in the City, Fury Road, and now Furiosa. Despite knowing all the things I listed a little earlier about the context of this movie, I completely ignored the fact that George Miller's career doesn't run on live, practical, high-octane stunt work. George Miller's career has been doing whatever he wants, and then he does exactly what he wants really well. The inherent issue there is not everybody's taste is going to be as flexible with genre and tone as the man himself. Now, me and Furiosa have this understanding. I guess we agree to disagree on a couple of things. First, Furiosa revels in its CG-heavy set pieces and pulls them off impeccably well, and the intention is world-building and taking us on this biblical epic journey. The visual language is extremely animated and over the top, which, again, Furiosa executes CG-heavy set pieces very well. But the sheer fact exists that we have the knowledge of this prequel's sequel, Fury Road, and its intent of pedal-to-the-metal, skullfuck action ride, and the perfect execution of that intent of practical stunts, constantly having the viewer white-knuckling on the edge of their seat. I can't control that Fury Road exists, but I can control tempering and understanding my disliking of something and being able to still appreciate what it is. Furiosa just made me realize that I'm a Fury Road fan for a very specific, subjective reason, just like I'm a huge fan of Babe 2, Pig in the City. I love that movie, as well as Happy Feet. Have you seen that? The sequel's fucking bonkers. George Miller made a great fucking movie with Furiosa. He really did. This one is a slower burn, it's longer, but the performances are all very good. I will say, side note, Chris Hemsworth does do a lot of talking, and it kind of wrecked the vibe I feel like a particular scene would be going for, and then he opens his mouth and doesn't stop talking, and it's just kind of odd. This is real nerdy, but I kind of wish they let the historians talk a bunch. I know they do a little bit, but I would have liked to see those history mans really go off. It's like a Wikipedia. I thought that was a really, really cool character in this story. But with Chris Hemsworth, it kind of seems like they said let him cook and it was milquetoast kind of thing. I also love how good they did transferring the character of Furiosa from Charlize to Anya. I think she pulls off this character really well, in my opinion. It's a lot of Mad Max world building, and it's filmed only a shade less cartoonish than a 300 or something. Exaggerating a lot here, but it almost has that Spy Kids kind of thing, that intentional disconnect from reality. It was giving me a lot of Robert Rodriguez, Frank Miller energy, which isn't even something that I hate or anything. I even have some love for the spirit. I dig that style. Again, my Fury Road hang-up just fucked me on this one, you guys. I'm excited to rewatch Furiosa. Honestly, I am. I have no bad feelings for it. Me and Furiosa are better as friends. I have Fury Road to blow my back out anytime I need. And hey, maybe if more of this saga gets made, there'll be even more choices by George Miller. And in retrospect, years from now, we'll all look back and laugh about how I felt a little disappointed by it. All right. I think people should go see this movie. This is not meant to be a negative review in any way. Hopefully you got here to the end to kind of get the full picture. This is barely even a fucking review. It's just how I'm feeling about the movie, you know? I'm still really sad that it bombed. It'd still be the best action epic of the year if Dune 2 came out when it was supposed to. You know, go see it if you can, because no matter what I said in this video, that last thing I want is less George Miller Mad Max action filmmaking. No matter what choices that crazy bastard makes in his 90s or however old he is, he's a good dude. He makes good movies. I'm a big fan. And peace. P.S. Subscribe. That's it. Peace again.
Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Rated R.